In nomine di nostri satane Rusafari excelsi. Greetings, everyone. It is your favorite dark sorcerer here, Michael Hyson, aka Angelus Son of Abaddon. Now, I know it's been a little bit since I've actually done a video on my channel. I think it's been about a week. I've taken a little bit of a vacation from it. So tonight, I'd like to discuss a divination type tool that is known as Oneiromancy. Okay. There is actually two aspects of this. On one hand, you have the white light practitioner variants of it, and then you have what is known as black monomancy. Now, up until this point, I've been studying originally the original monomancy. Okay, trying to find its original sources, and so far I've gone back quite a long way, and still haven't found its original source. But I have found a lot of good references and a lot of good intel on it. So I thought I would share what I found with you since I've been doing this from the Messenger Cabal system. Okay. Now, so far I've got like 2 pages of just notes alone, and I'm still going. Okay. And I've been really taking my time with this over the last week, last few days to about a week now. So I thought it would be time to do a video and to share what I've been researching and how I've been researching it. So let's look at it from this point of view. The original meaning of it is found in Greek, okay, and it means oneos, okay, which is O-N-E-I-O. Let me rephrase that. That's a tongue twister right there for you. Oneirros, okay, is how it's found in Greek. And basically, what this is a form of prophesying through dreams, okay? And it's used primarily for dream interpretation, for divining the future, okay? Unlike all the other divination tools that we have at our disposal, what sets this art and practice aside is the fact that it doesn't deal with spirits. It doesn't deal with invocations or evocations, any form of conjuration, period. It is actually a practice that comes directly from you. Okay. Now we know that the mind can be broken down into 3 sections. We can also see how it can be separated into 7 levels. Okay. And this is if you follow Christopher Penziak's work from the Temple of Shamanic Witchcraft, which is his 3rd book in the Temple series. Okay. And he really goes into developing the conscious from the subconscious views of the mind. And that's what I found quite interesting about this particular practice. It's not calling on spirits, it's not calling on any form of spirit, but your own. It's dealing with your own mind. And that's something that's fascinating. Okay. Now, some of the sources, and I'm just gonna name off some of the sources so that you know. In biblical, you have the Vulgate Bible, which was basically first put forth in around the 16th century, about 1604 to 1615 area. But originally, the Vulgate Bible was a part of the Codex Gigas, which was also referred to as the Devil's Bible. It goes all the way back to the 2nd century. But they separated it and ended up putting it forth around the 16th century. Okay, and you can actually Google this yourself. And then since then, they've had splinter cells of Bibles branching off like a tree. Okay, so that's the first one. Critic literature you can find in Mesopotamia, the legend of Gilgamesh. Egyptian, the Remicide Dream Book. Greek, which is Critica, okay, with Critica at the end, okay? And then you also see it again within the medieval traditions, okay? The literature throughout the Middle Ages and stuff like that, which is pretty cool if you know where to look. Um, you have Istrika, okay, Astrika, which is basically Astika, and this is called Linga Panama, which is the script that you want to look at, okay. Arabic, you have the Greek Book of Interpretations of Dreams. You have in European, you have numerous different dream books. Japanese, you have the Pillow Book. Okay, now the Pillow Book I found very, very interesting. It was like almost reading a how should I say this? Almost like reading a kid's book, which is the best way to do this. But yet it was written much like you'd be watching one of the Asian type films where everything's like a delusion of grandeur, where you're flying through the air. It's almost like a dance meets how should I say this? Well, you know what I mean if you've ever seen an Asian martial art movie, okay? Like Assassins or one of Jet Li's or type films nowadays. So, anyways, and then you go into herbalism, and there's an herb down in that they use in Mexico. Now, I found this one pretty interesting, and I've actually started doing some research on it. And it's called Kelia Zaka okay? And within two words, okay? The first word is Calea. Second word, Zacatechicchi. Okay. And this is a flower type plant, which I found very interesting because you either deal with flowers, herbs, or trees. Okay. Things like, say, for example, let's go with hemlock, which are found in marshlands. Okay. Whereas you have like New Orlander, which is found within schools, playgrounds, and parks. Okay, which are actually trees like little apple or white snake. You know, and then you have herbs like ground cinnamon or paprika. Stuff like that. The natural based stuff that we use every day. Oh, excuse me. So, anyways, it's very rare that you come across a plant that is actually considered to be both a flower and a plant. Okay, it's not just like a regular base flowering type thing like you'd find on a leaf, but it's also a plant which is grown. And this type of plant is placed underneath the pillow of the individual who is going to be the dreamer. Okay, and it's for Oneiromancy practices, which is a very unique way of doing it. Oneology is something that's very interesting as well. It's spelled Oneillogy. Okay, or precognition, synchronicity. These are just three terms that you can actually look up for yourself, and it's kind of like a prerequisite of terminology that will help you to define this art for yourself. Now, From my own studies, you can actually break this down into three main categorizations and methods of practice. The first is theurgic, okay, theurgic. And this here is dream wisdom, okay? It's basically, let's see, basically, it's a dream. It's basically the interpretation of the goddess within your dreams, okay? Think of it as understanding them within a state of divinity and how they represent themselves within your dreams. I found that very, very interesting because of the contemplation of them. It's basically best way I can describe it is it's the contemplation of the divinity of the god and goddess within your dream state, how they represent themselves, how they show themselves, how they commune with you. Think what they show you. It's things that you want to contemplate on, and I really found that quite fascinating. The second is basically hermetic. Okay. And this one here, unlike the first one, is it revolves around languages, the meanings and the philosophy, okay, within a complete state of immersion. Okay. And I'm going to say this again, immersion, a complete state of immersion. Okay. Of your dream to manifest clearer state of clarity, the dream itself that you have. Okay. Those of you who have had dream states, like say the difference between your average dream, where your mind is unfolding certain things, like say, I don't know, let's go with your normal dreams of love, peace and love, stuff like that. Or perhaps even in your dream state, you're dreaming of nothing, but it's a perfect Z state where you're recharging your own personalized batteries. But yet, those of you who have actually had nightmares or night terrors, it seems all too real, right? Your adrenaline starts going. It feels like if you're dreaming of lycanthropes and a lycanthrope scratches you or bites you in your dream, you jerk yourself awake. Okay. It's that state of clarity that you're looking at within this stage or this type of practice. Okay. And it's very interesting because the immerse yourself into the complete overall dream to try to interpret its meanings, its colors, its the beings or whatever's going on in that dream to define the symbolism of what it's meant. Okay, what's meant by that dream, and that's actually pretty cool if you think about it. And then you have the third one, which is the path of the hermit. Okay. Now we all know that hermits are solitary practitioners. Okay. Now, what's ironic about this is they like to live by themselves. They're solitary. They just let themselves go. They don't like being around other people. Okay. But this path is good for the predicting of both metaphysical and physical shifts of currents. Okay. And it's very cool because of the fact that it is a path chosen by what is classified as madmen and madwomen. Okay. There was a guy not too long ago who was forced out of the woods. He's been living in the woods up in northern Maine for like 15, 30 years, and game wardens basically brought him out and said, you cannot live in the woods no more. You have to be a part of society. Okay. Now you gotta imagine what kind of discipline and focus and determination it takes for somebody to live off the grid in that situation for that long a time. Okay. So the path of the hermit is literally one of those things where you learn to control your emotions. You learn to trust your instincts. And it's within a state of complete immersion. Very, very fascinating. I mean, I know I spent a lot of years by myself, you know, didn't really have much friends. I didn't really commune with a lot of people. You know, when I first started getting into the public, it was said that I was pale. There was no sign of emotion, no nothing. I was completely dead. And it was the path of the hermit will actually do this. It brings out that state within yourself where you don't rush to conclusions. You don't try to interpret things within a state of chaos. The path of the hermit is complete control. It takes dedication and discipline and focus to walk that path and to utilize oneomancy within it. Okay. So one can say that this state, the path of the hermit, would be one of the best methods used from, say, for example, the Temple of Shamanic Witchcraft by Christopher Penziak. Okay, it's like it's at one of those states where it's a choice, it's a path, and one can say that it's similar to the the 3 card reading from cartomancy. Okay, think about it for just a second. You when you draw 3 cards in a tarot card deck, you have past, present, and future, right? Well, what if I said that if you use this same technique and you look at oneomancy and you're interpreting your dreams, your dream state, like say if you have a nightmare or you have a vision, perhaps if a spirit comes to you through a dream state, oneomancy to warn you or to your own mind even dealing with say traumas in your life, things that you've witnessed throughout the day that your subconscious is dealing with at night while you're in that Z state frame of mind. This type of thing, the path of the hermit, would allow you to encompass it within a state of immersion. It's you in your dream trying to interpret that dream within a state of past, present, and future. Very fascinating. And oneomancy can actually be broken down into 2 different states. Okay. And this part here I really found interesting because of the fact that if you think about the 2 types of messages that one can receive in their practices, the first is the messages from the gods, say the Ugan, the Loa, demons, angels, the jinn, or even spirits themselves from a ancestral line. Like in witchcraft, they deal with the spiritual realm, necromancy, spiritual realm, shamanism, the spiritual realm, where you're dealing with former witches, former incarnates, like human beings. Whereas in other forms of magic, you're dealing with gods or demigods, maybe even spirits of the elements, the planetary figures, stuff like that. you know, this would be the state where you are receiving messages directly from them. And like I said, the second aspect is where you're receiving messages from your subconscious and you're interpreting them within a state of oneomancy. Okay. Now, this could be classified and broken down into, say, microcosm, the little god, versus that of the macrocosm, the big god. Okay. And I really liked how this was presented throughout my research so far, this far. Okay. And I'm still delving into it. Yesterday, I didn't really delve into it because of, I guess you can say, family emergency. So I really didn't have a chance to do anything study wise or even meditation wise yesterday. So I really couldn't get to work on it last night or yesterday at all because of that family emergency. But Now that everything's settled down, I'm going to be able to take it even further within research. But like I said, you have oneomancy, and then you have what is called black oneomancy. Okay. Now, oneomancy I found within the Mazajir Cabal system, which I found very interesting because they only give a couple paragraphs that I guess you can say skim the surface of what their variation of it is. Okay. And I'm going to be breaking that down and delving into that so that the next video I do, or I probably would do another video on this down the road so that I can clarify what dark oneomancy is and kind of just share with you the applications of it, okay, within a practitioner's lifestyle. And that's if I know a lot of you that watch this will probably already have some kind of experience within this, or perhaps even an interest in it. So it would be pretty cool to see if it will benefit you down the road, and not just me. You know, I don't really dream much anymore, so but every so often I do have a dream. So I mean, it's something that to look into. Okay, and it is a form of divination, just like cartomancy, just like runes, just like spiritual conjurations, mediumship. The Ouija board, pendulum, dowsing rods. It's just another form of divination. So delve into it, see where it takes you, and maybe in the long run, it'll benefit you. Who knows? All right. So with that said, I'm going to end this video, and I want to thank everybody who watches it. I want to thank those of you who have taken an interest in and really want to participate and see where it takes you for you and through your studies. I hope you delve into the sources that I mentioned earlier and stay true to the sorcery and see where it takes you. All right. Never stop learning and never stop evolving. All right. Hope it's been enlightening. Hope it's been educational. And until next time, have a good night. All right.